Hey Clashers, because of the Town Hall 18 update, we have now a way bigger variety of playable strategies in the game. But one thing is unchanged, and that is that the Roy Chimichar's Root Rider attack strategy is still on the #1 position. You might now wonder, why exactly do we use a skeleton spell in this army composition? And the answer is quite simple. We want to make the Roy Chimicharge stronger. Because you can see in this example right here, the Bomb Hive can cover quite a bit of base, and this makes the Roy Chimicharge way harder to plant. But you can just use one skeleton spell to block those bombs, because the skeletons are going to respawn and they're spawning right into those flying bombs, which means they're getting taken out right away. The difference here with the totem is that totem is getting attacked by all of the surrounding defenses, makes it go down somewhat quick. A skeleton spell though is spawning new skeletons, makes this trick way stronger. So yes, if you're using a Royal Champion charge for any strategy, you should always have one skeleton spell in your army composition to really counter the Bomb Hive. But for us, this just means the Royal Champion charge is as strong as before, and the Root Riders are keep dominating. So let's take a look at a couple of example attacks so we can deep dive into Town Hall 18 and how you should deploy and use this strategy. And just to make sure that we can deep dive into the explanation part about the strategy, we're going to watch some of the replays of Dawe, as he had already multiple 320 days in Legends with this army composition and with Root Riders and Royal Champion Charge in general. First things first, this guy's kind of crazy. I think he has already all the new worlds maxed. That's kind of insane, not gonna lie. But what's the plan here? We're starting things off with a diamond-shaped base, okay? Those style bases can be kinda tricky. And the key thing now is with this strategy is to have a plan for the Town Hall. Yes, the Town Hall now is no defense anymore, and this can really give you problems with getting that second star or even planning with the area around it. On this one, he's using the lock launcher with the Queen action figure and as well the giant arrow to deal damage, and as well set up pathing then for the Root Riders later on. This is, I feel like, a perfect point where we can compare Root Riders with the Meteor Golems, because this is something common really, which is getting done a lot right now, which is comparing Root Riders with Meteor Golems. But especially with Royal Champion Charge, and you can see it perfectly here with those storages alive, I think there is a clear answer. Root Riders are just 2 leagues above the Meteor Golems, especially combined with the Royal Champion Charge. Meteor Golems should be more played with the Fireball if you want to maximize the value for them, because this creates better pathing for them, which is just the bread and butter for that strategy. Back to this one, since Root Riders are targeting defenses, it is typically easier to be planned with them, and especially the Royal Champion Charge is doing a way better job of providing that pathing for them. Another reason why Root Riders are just better than what the Meteor Golems can do, it's quite simple. That's the Overgrowth spell. The Overgrowth spell, you can see it right here with the storage, for example, and then the Elixir Collector. You can sometimes have non-defensive buildings not covered, and this would completely mess up the pathing then for the Meteor Golems. While for the Root Riders, the only important thing for you is to cover those defenses, which is making sure that you take no damage, and you create the pathing with them. So again, the Royal Champion Charge, the same as the Overgrowth spell, are just synergizing way better with the Root Riders than with the Meteor Golems. I'm not saying Meteor Golems are bad, do not get me wrong. I'm just saying that Root Riders are again in their own league because of all of those synergies of just targeting defenses. On this one, it is going to be the 3-star. You won't see as many crazy overkills on Town Hall 18. That's just a new thing, I guess, especially with the Revenge Tower, because the Revenge Tower on its own is kind of like a counter to the Overgrowth spell, because you still have to handle it later on, but it has time to stack up and deal a lot of damage. But with the first base cell now taken down, which means the Diamond base, clear, pathing next to the Town Hall, have then enter either the Root Riders or the Queen with the lock launch into the Town Hall, and then on the flank and just go through the base like it's nothing. But hey, let's continue with the next style of base, which is going to be a box base. And a box base is kind of like a diamond-shaped base, just rotated with 45 degrees. But on this one, we have a Hero Bell, which I feel like is going to be interesting to witness on the long term. What seasonal defense is going to be the most used? I feel like this bell is just kind of like a no-brainer. Like, you just put it somewhere, it's going to pretty much always have some nice value. The Bomb Hive, you need to set up better, I would say. So you need to have some more knowledge about base building. But This is not about like which season defense is the best. This is more about taking a look on how you approach those bases with the Royal Chamber Charge. On this one, again, it's the same setup. You want to have the pathing into the Town Hall, so you have to, you can easily take that out early on. On this one, what he does, just Royal Chamber Charge next to the Town Hall, and as soon as the pathing is provided, he just is going to recall the Royal Champ. And that's exactly what he does here. The scatter went down, recall is in, and he is good to go. Which means he can now enter from the far left side. This time around, there is no lock launcher. The reason when you want to use the lock launcher is when there is not too much splash right on the edge of the base, because you need to have those locks dealing the damage with the giant arrow together. And coming from this top left angle, you can already see there's so much damage early on that you need to be careful with the lock launcher. Instead, he's just funneling everything into this first area of the base. It's an early Eternal Tome, but he's now using the Skeleton spell as well as the Totem to distract those heroes, making sure that they cannot deal as much damage. And then you just overpower this first compartment, and the Valkyries and such can just clear the first star and make sure the Town Hall is gone. Next thing, Rocket Spear ability to make sure that you take down those core defenses, and the pathing for those Root Riders is set. On this one, it's quite unfortunate because this thing is already maxed out, I believe. This is why it's going to survive the Rocket Spears. The Invis Tower is going off, so he's deciding to use the Overgrowth as the Invis Tower would hit that building. But this again means that he has the Revenge Tower in a really unfortunate spot again, so needs to be careful here. Which now means he's pushing around, waiting until the Overgrowth is going to run out. It's still going to be a triple either way. Like at this point, you already know it's going to be a triple. The main reason for this is that the only defense which can be threatening at this point is the Revenge Tower. And you can see it is going to take down a big part of this army composition. The reason, though, why it cannot be a defense really anymore at this point is because pros will always save their spiky ball to the end of the attack. So with this Revenge Tower being so low, the spiky ball can just always go towards the middle of the base, take it out, and it's going to be an easy triple just like that. And that's kind of the key reason as well why you should always delay your spiky ball if possible to really maximize the value in the end and finish off the base strong. But now there is one more base style, which means isolated Town Hall compartments in that core. And this is one example for this, which means we have this core isolated, the Town Hall isolated in the core. Usually it's paired with a long shot, that is just straight up better. But we want to mostly concentrate on how we can make sure that you're not going to one-star those bases. On this one, we have the Royal Chamber Charge to interrupt the ring. We have the entire base being a ring around the Town Hall when it comes into the defenses. Something which he can utilize now here as well is the Skeleton trick or the Bomb Hive. And this is a spell which you have to force, which means the Bomb Hive, if placed properly, is at least forcing those spells, because by the time now when the Royal Chamber has passed, the Bomb Hive has not done any damage to her. But he had to invest that one extra spell for it to make it work. A Totem spell here would have not done the job. Moving forward with the Royal Chamber Charge, he's trying to be a little bit greedy, skipping some defenses here. I think in the end he's not going to get any. Yep. He could have tried to snipe those with the Rocket Loons if he wants to, but I guess he just doesn't care. He's now entering from the top right with those Root Riders, and there's now multiple different options on how you can approach those bases, depending on how the core looks like. The first option, this is what he does right here, is just send the Root Riders in at one of the ends, because we have now two ends of defenses, like this bottom side, or this side right here. The Royal Chamber cleared the path in between. So just start right at one of those ends, make sure that you're funneling everything in with your king and queen, and have the troop launcher right behind. This is the first and most common approach, and usually should get you really good results. If you want to have a safer approach when it comes down to the Town Hall, you can go as well with a lock launcher again, as what we have seen with the first attack. So instead we would have had the lock launcher dive in here, and would have had the Root Riders in from the top side, which means the Royal Champion with the Root Riders would have just went around this top side to the bottom, and then we had the Queen with the lock launcher into the core, while the King is doing the funneling. On this one, he decided for the first option with the troop troop launcher. While we have now some of those wall breakers from the troop launcher opening to the core, and this is where those Yetis then can help. You can as well make sure if there is a long shot Guardian in the core, you can as well just tank that with the Totem spell, With that, even those couple of Yetis can take it out already, because that totem is going to tank the Guardian for quite some time. Just make sure that the splash of the long shot is not going to take down those troops, which are supposed to take it out. Then for the back end, again, the late King ability to save the day. This one though, a really big overkill, because he has like 3 heroes alive, he has the action figure alive, King ability, and it's a nice easy job. So, again, still the number 1 strategy is the Royal Champion Shot Root Rider attack strategy. I would say though, it is not the number 1 position by as much anymore compared to Town Hall 17, because Town Hall 17 was pretty much all about the Royal Champion Shot Root Riders. Now you have way more options, and this is what we're going to take a look at the top 5 strategies on Monday, which I will then share with you guys. But until then, feel free to give this strategy a try. I have the link down below in the description of the video. I wish you guys back tomorrow with the next one. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.